Welcome to the Lifestyle Cabarete podcast. I'm Audrey Meyer, your host, a passionate water woman and real estate expert in the Dominican Republic. Join us as we dive into the vibrant lifestyle, thrilling sports, and amazing investment opportunities. We'll share inspiring stories of expats and locals who have embraced the Cabarete lifestyle, chasing their dreams and finding success. Let's dive in. Hi guys, Audrey Meyer here from Realtor Dior. Welcome to Yasica River. I'm here with my good friend, Marcus Bohm. Hey Marcus. So guys, Marcus arrived in Cabarete in 1990 from Germany. Were you one of the first German arriving here?
No, definitely. I tell you, definitely not. I was 20 years old, came here to windsurf. I was attracted by the Windsurfing World Cup wave slalom that was held the first time in 1988.
In Cabarete?
In Cabarete, and I read it in a magazine, and it attracted to me the tropical, the water sports, and the no wetsuits, and I said, This is where I want to be one day, and yeah.
So what did it take, like a German, young, 20 years old guy coming from Germany to live his life or to come to the Dominican Republic and windsurf?
Tell you the truth, I left Germany really because I had a good situation at a very young age where I worked in one of the biggest sports retail stores, and I didn't leave Germany because I didn't like it. It was kind of, wow, I'm 20 years old, that's what I should do, and it was not like what I felt doing, and I felt very comfortable inside my family, my jobs, what I did to take a time out, which was not easy towards my parents, but I pushed it in, and after 3 months, I decided to stay here and open a sail repair. I came here as a windsurf instructor for a tour operator company, and I opened my own sail repair, and got together with a Canadian guy, opened the sail and board repair.
Yeah.
And in 2001, well, this was in 1990, 92, 93, 94.
Wow.
Opened a used consignment store till 97.
Yeah.
Turned it into a bikini shop.
I remember that.
Turned it into a truck and $5,000 and traveled to Cape Verde Islands with my girlfriend at the time and go to a kiteboard event in 99.
So Marcus, tell us, I mean, I'm wondering what happened then? What attracted you? What made Cabarete so special that you like, that's it, I'm gonna stop everything in Germany and move here and live here in the Dominican Republic? What was so special about the Dominican Republic then?
You know, I grew up, my parents took care of a tennis home, and my father was a professional ski jumper. And I grew up between having family in East Germany and family to the Swiss-French-German border. And growing up doing just sports. And how to tell you, when you first come here and you know how to windsurf, and you go windsurfing for 60 days after working 4.5 years in Germany, it's magic. You know, and to tell you the truth, beside the sport for being able to have tropical waves that were manageable, you know, there's other spots there, though. You know, there's always more.
Yeah.
But the Dominican Republic was quite a destination to be like amazed of just the beauty, the people, the moments, the culture that is so different, so tropical that, you know, again, I'm 20 years old coming from Germany. My parents didn't see it back then because imagine nobody had a phone and nobody had a car.
In Cabarete.
In Cabarete.
Yeah. That was before 2000, right?
This was in 1990.
Yeah.
By 1990, Code Hotel back then installed a container where everybody in the community could do phone calls and send faxes. And, you know, you're coming back today talking about progress, like a destination developing.
Yeah.
What you've seen in Cabarete from 1990 till today, you come to town and there's high-speed internet till the last part of the community, thanks to Cable del Norte that delivers, you know, fiber optic cables to everybody, and no parking. I mean, everybody has a car, everybody has a home. There's a lot of development. Came in short time.
So can you say that from 1990 when you arrived to 2000 when 2024, like there's been like such a fast development in town?
Fast. I tell you, it came like in waves. It came a little bit in, I would say, 1988, 1998, 2008, 2018, 8. There was different circles that came in progress and development, but also in a shift of tourism
Yeah.
that came from like almost like a pilot project that was Puerto Plata in the beginning in the 1990s for development of
Yeah.
Dominican tourism towards a little forgotten place because it was windy, it was not as comfortable as a tropical beach. And Cabarete Sosua, like Cabarete specifically, was back then known for windsurfing. Even Sosua was known by the local community
Yeah.
for surf.
Yeah, yeah. So, Marcus, you are a waterman. You're also the organizer and the founder of the Master of the Ocean. And I want to keep that at the end. We're going to be talking about the Master of the Ocean because it's coming soon, the 19th edition of the Master of the Ocean. But first, I want you to go back a little bit because you were a huge part into Cabarete water sport and you helped so many kids, so many Dominican local kids to surf. But we just talked about that. You also helped them swimming, right? Because there were a lot of kids who didn't know how to swim. And today, talking 25 years ago, you see all those world-class surfer, windsurfer, kite surfer. So I'm proud and grateful to sit here with you, with a man who put so much into that community. So tell us about a little bit about what you did with the kids back then when you arrived.
To tell you the truth, I was a kid myself, okay? I was 20 years coming from Bavaria, don't speak the language, not have English, I not came from family here. So for me to come here and really learn how to windsurf from friends that I still have today. I just talked to Argentina Jimenez, who was the first woman that moved to Hawaii, or
Dominican woman who moved
of
to
course,
Hawaii.
yes, or the first generation of windsurfers. I was pleased to meet a guy like Neil Adair and Lamont Beaver.
Yeah.
And thanks to this guy from Texas and the other guy from the States, we could exchange some knowledge with Neil fixing boards and us repairing sails to bring something to the neighborhood that was a need.
Yeah.
And how to tell you, it was my beginning of it, but at the same time, it was a lot of learning. I learned how to speak Spanish here.
Yeah.
The place was really a lot different to what you see today, which just reflects how much development, how much beautiful things tourism brought to this region. And today, even by the Ministry of Tourism, sports tourism is recognized what defines our town, our community as something that is really what it's all about. I mean, it defines yourself, it defines anywhere we go here in town, there's family, there's somebody that between windsurfing, kite surfing, surfing, stand-up paddle or wing foiling have roots here that generational, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that brings me to the Master of the Ocean because Marcus, you are the founder of this amazing event called the Master of the Ocean. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Well, the event has a little story, Like by 97, I'm windsurfing really to all I can. I'm fixing sails and selling used equipment and windsurfing every day.
Yeah.
And seeing the first time kiteboarders like Christopher Tasti or Franz Ulrich or Nathalie and Lulu out there in something they called kiteboarding, which I heard it, I never saw it, but I saw Christopher Tasti then.
Yeah.
I gave my windsurf gear away. I was kind of tired a little bit, on the way back it was broken already. I gave it away and I got into kiteboarding that really guided my life for a long time and brought me to the beginning of the sports in an athletes-driven way on something that was a little bit more like a stuntman situation after looking back today and the injuries I took home. But how to tell you, it was cool to learn without anything. And I remember you very early joined us.
Yeah.
And I mean, you even on the sports part got way more successful than I. I just went to the Red Bull King of the Air and to the Cabarete events and identified once more that Cabarete is an incredible destination that fitted very well for a new sport that kept my interest. And I came back and had a job for Eurosport and worked 2 years for these guys. And now by the year 2002, after being tour director for the kiteboarding World Championship Tour with Eurosport, I came back and love Cabarete a lot. I missed it. We could do good things, drive the sport, push it, but also a lot of learning and just Red Bull starting.
Yeah.
And I worked for a couple of years as a special advisor for Cabarete, Dominican Republic,
For Red Bull.
Central America, and learned a lot, and it gave me a lot of energy to
Give
bring
you
in-
wings.
Definitely, but I want to mention some names that come
Yeah.
from our community. I'm talking about Luciano Gonzalez doing third at the first King of the Year. I'm talking about Susie May
Yeah.
to win the event 3 times that nobody else in a Red Bull branded event ever did.
Yeah. And those, you also have to mention that those guys, Luciano and Susie, they both practice here every
Oh, yeah.
day.
Oh,
They
yeah.
made from
Oh, yeah.
Cabarete, Luciano Gonzalez, he's a Dominican who learned kiteboarding here. You remember,
yes,
Susie learned
together.
kiteboarding here in Cabarete. So Cabarete really
Well,
made them.
for this generation, the kids were like, I don't do what my parents do. So kiteboarding was like the windsurfing. The kids who lived in and were windsurfing families,
Yeah.
they picked it up, and Susie did in a way, way beyond. I mean, she touched for a short time the Olymp of kiteboarding in a way that she wrote history.
Yeah.
But then she really dedicated her life to global ocean conservation and Sir Richard Branson and not to name any names, but she brought unbelievable high-tech and Silicon Valley mindset, but also investment to Cabarete in a beautiful way that progress reflects.
Yep, yep. So now moving forward, because we're talking windsurfing, we're talking kiteboarding, Master of the Ocean is today a 5 sports competition. So we have what? Windsurfing, surfing, kiteboarding, paddleboarding, and wing foiling,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yes. So how did that, when and how did it happen in Cabarete in the Dominican Republic? Because I think Cabarete, and we have to say, Cabarete is one of the only place in the world where we can do the 5 sports in the same day,
Yes,
right? It's
yes.
like you've been, I've been
without a car.
without a car, without a car.
You
Yeah.
just-
So how did the Master of the Ocean was born, considering that?
Well, in 2003, by also starting understanding Red Bull and working by this time for a professional world championship tour with TV rights, the idea was born. I'd been a windsurfer, I've been a kiteboarder, I've been not great in anything, but the idea was to make a combination, and I opened a surfing school in '96. It was called Takeoff with a kid, his name was Junior from Puerto Plata. And so by then I got actually out of the kiteboarding and got into the surfing, but at the same time starting the job with Red Bull. And the concept was to create an event that was there for the local community in a way that was challenging. What challenge? Listen, I bring you world-class athletes from all over the world in here for different sports, but with the intention to give you the opportunity to welcome this guy on your home playground without a visa, without a birth certification, without a passport. You know too good about it, I mean, you've done it. But the idea was to bring world-class athletes and artists together, put it on a playground, and present our community in a way where we feel like this shows our community. This shows why you want to celebrate an active day and go out and see your friends. And back then there was no phone, so you had to, you had to go see.
So you started your first Master of the Ocean in 2003. So now we are in 2024, and the Master of the Ocean will take place in a couple of days, right? Remind us the dates.
Well, from the 22nd to the 26th, once more, we have the Master of the Ocean event.
Yeah.
We have an inscription.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the 22nd that starts with the expression session for all 5 sports.
Yeah.
Surf, wind, sub, kite, and wing foil, where we want to identify and give the playground the dedication to the local talent from the beginning of the event.
Yeah.
To identify, have a good chance to place them in whatever discipline, and also, get going in a way that we're working together with Cabo del Norte on hopefully life insight to this, but we brought world-class DJs. We the first time fulfill our music dedication as we provide 12 hours from sunrise to sunset.
Yeah.
We present action sports that basically starts at 7:30 in the morning with the discipline of surfing, dedicated to overall. That's the athlete where you competed, where one athlete, a maximum of 16, competes in 5 sports.
Yeah.
So the other discipline would be teams.
Yeah.
A team consists of 5 riders, minimum 1 woman, that compete for each sport in their discipline.
Yeah.
Once this is done, the expression session gives a playground to athletes that only dedicate themselves to one sport.
Yeah.
And beside wild cards, we want to give anybody the opportunity to get in the event. And that's the first day, the 22nd. The 23rd, we really start full on the teams and the overall. We want to give all athletes the chance to arrive in the neighborhood and see and film. And the 23rd, teams and overall start, followed by the 24th. It's a community day where we highlight our sister foundations and our program of the Happy Dolphins, together with Dream, Inspire, Mariposa, and Dove Mission Youth Development.
Yeah.
Among others, what our destination has to offer in the way of sustainability and, not just to promote anymore a destination, but also take care of the local community to develop an organic tourism.
Yeah. So would you say, Marcus, that the Master of the Ocean attracts, or you able to attract people from all over the world? I know we have athletes coming from Hawaii, from Mexico, from Australia, from Europe. It's like it's a worldwide famous event, right?
Well, we created something. I wanted to have it based on where the event is not based on paying appearance fee of people who might win or take the money home. We had the support from international airlines. Thanks to Edelweiss and Copa Airlines, we have the opportunity this year again to bring a team from Switzerland together with Positive Lines in Yaklar, our partner that you know very well from Switzerland. And thanks to Copa Airlines, we bring Brian Talma, Argentina Jimenez, among other athletes to our destination, but also press and network partners that help us to transmit what this town stands for, where you are a big part of it with the butterfly effect. That is more butterfly effect. That is not just a sports event, but it's really uniting and presenting a community that does an incredible job in formation of youth development.
Yeah.
You've been...
Yeah. So Marcus, you've been here for 35 years in Cabarete. What is still so exciting? Why are you still here, and why you still love Cabarete? What's so exciting to you?
Wow. Let me tell you, there's a lot of individual moments, situation, progress, growth in life. Sorry to anybody I called ever old when I was 20. Okay, today I'm 54. Sports, lifestyle, woman, definitely getting married. My wife, Patricia, which is really helped me to position and be who I am today in many ways that I never imagined.
Yeah.
And thanks to Mala Leah, reality is better than imagination, and I feel very blessed to call family here. And I also live a couple days a month in Santo Domingo. It's a different lifestyle.
Where your wife is Dominican from Santo Domingo?
Well, she's actually born in Puerto Plata.
Okay.
Yeah, and after she studied in Boston, lived in Europe, came back here, worked for very professional. And how to tell you, Santo Domingo is a lot more than us here in the middle of a natural park, one of the biggest ones on the island, and living here, in a way, realizing in what a magic place I was allowed to settle down as a foreigner, as an immigrant, including to immigrate legally, and doing things that are very difficult where I'm coming from, where you're from. At the same time, being a foreigner, we were very, and still, as community members, yes, we were foreigners, but you as much as me, we were a kite instructor, a windsurf instructor. We were very much like any one of our idols today that carry a name like, Jose Luis Rosario or Tony Garcia. The list is endless on professional water sports athletes, women, Susie, Luciano Gonzalez, Wilson Tavares, that are world-class history athletes. But we knew them, we're friends of them. We call this part of our family. I know you, how long, 20 years?
25 years, probably. Yeah.
And you came here to town?
99.
99. I remember very well, and your skills and your expertise you back then dedicated to it. And Audrey, yourself, you've been a master of the ocean woman.
Yeah.
And
Thanks to you for putting the the event together. And also, Marcus, I want to just take a moment about that place where we are right now, right? Because here we on the Yasica River, so we're not in the ocean. We're not people kite actually here. People kiteboard or windsurf. But what a beautiful place we are in nature, right? So this river, I know you've been bringing people here, teaching and coaching paddleboarding from beginner to more intermediate to family to kids. So tell us a little more about what you're doing here with a family and teach them to paddleboard.
well, like in two cases, we wanted to have something compared to the surfing. I called it a no-talent activity. And really what Rudy Martinez and Gabi Martinez, Gabi Martinez, Rugama created and let me be part of is really outstanding.
Yeah.
You've been part of this too, and the Rugama Park offers, basically it's the entrance to the park with this Monumento Natural de las Lagunas y Cuevas de Cabarete y Goleta. And this river here, the biggest river on the north shore of the Dominican Republic, marks the east of this national park that basically where we started.
Yeah.
This is an arm that leads basically in the beginning all the way to Cabarete, all the way to Kite Beach, just before Encuentro. And they're working on it to open it up all the way. And it's the biggest freshwater lagoon on the North Shore. And the mountains you see in the back there, this is the El Choco Road. This is part of the park, but also signalize the border of the park to the south. And it's basically a road that goes from Sosúa to Jamao del Norte. It's called El Choco.
Yeah.
And it comes in just before Sosúa.
Yeah.
And that's basically just a little bit after Seahorse Ranch. And it marks basically the park.
Yeah. Yeah. So talking now about, there's something you forgot to mention, because when you arrived here in the 90s, you mentioned earlier that in 97, you actually bought your first property here. And you were like really young. You couldn't have done that in Germany. So are you a proud owner? Are you happy? Like we were talking about that earlier. It's like if you looking back, you would do that again.
Of course. I mean, Audrey, I tell you, everything that really creates value in my life and being here and where I be able to maintain my family, which they never depended on me either, to do what I do, to do this event, to have things that don't make sense on creating money, but allowed me to really develop different ideas on an international level. And I have to mention a guy like George Couture in 97 believed in me as somebody who said, Marcus, a guy like you should live here. You should think about invest and not just hang out here and really make it real, not talk about it. And I will help you whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And Audrey, looking back today, like the commitment and say, I do that. And of course, the commitment also to live here, and guys, living here is awesome. And the house was always more than just an anchor. It was everything, in my case, everything to today. That not just that I don't want to miss it, I'm so grateful for it. And this progress, not just in my house, but pretty much every property that you see on the North Shore, on what Cabarete, not just Cabarete has to offer, bring some value to the table.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about 3.5 hours from New York, 2 hours from Miami, 4 hours to Montreal, 8 hours to Europe. I tell you.
Yeah. Would you see yourself like living forever here?
You know what? I planned my retirement very early. I was like 20 years old. Okay.
Good for you.
And since
So
then,
you're retired now.
I always said I retired because what I'm allowed to do every day, taking people out and sharing this beautiful. And, for example, with Master of the Ocean, Audrey, being allowed to work with institutions that mean a lot to this country, to this island,
Yeah.
to the different communities like the Ministry of Tourism, or also with the German embassy, like being able to offer an opportunity to reflect the labor and the progress that came to a region.
Yeah.
We're talking about really a protected region that has to guarantee long-time sustainable involvement, not just of the local community, but everybody who decides to live there. And I believe the sports has proven, we're not talking about visions. We're looking back 35 years, sitting here to a Master of the Ocean female winner. Whatever happened to you, whatever happened to me, I'm part of this progress. I'm very grateful and thankful for as a foreigner to be part of this community.
Yeah.
Dominican, as much as the surf, windsurf, kitesurf, sub, wingfoil community that we share, and seeing new people, seeing new music, seeing new energy coming to town, always comes to the same mission, to maintain and highlight what identifies us as a global community, but also as a sustainable community where growth comes with something that is not just growth in real estate and growth in infrastructure, but really growth in education, growth in the local community. That education is also not anything we need anymore, but we need them all, learn how to swim, being able to have access to windsurf, surf, kites, sub, wing foiling gear. And I think this is where I'm aiming for my side, and hopefully to have partnerships with people like you on the side where we guarantee surfing, windsurfing, kite surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, or wing foiling, which are all very, very elite, expensive water sports. Either you work hard in it, or it's hard to come and give me a foil equipment for $8,000.
Yeah. Marcus, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. Give me a high five.
High five very much. I wish you the best.
Yes.
I tell you, I only had a really wonderful and grateful time. I mean, you're one of these people I met here, and our ways crossed many times. And what to tell you, this town is very magic.
Yeah.
This island is incredible, and all you have to do is come.
Yeah.
If you come from Master of the Ocean, it's great. If you come from Butterfly, it's great. If you just come anytime in those things, don't worry, it's great anyways.
And you might not leave.
Yes,
right?
yes. I mean, it's easy to access, and all I can say, come. Cabarete is a beautiful community, changing, of course, what we have today as families, and maybe not 10-day tourist visitors, but we have today families with 1, 2, 3 kids that go to different schools here. And, it's wonderful to see the different generations. If you look behind this camera, there is somebody who came here as an 8 or 9-year-old, and is running the show tonight. And these are the kind of moments where I think, it's great to be part of this community, and I love what I do, and you're part of this.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Living the Cabarete Lifestyle. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me on this wonderful journey, and we'll see you on the next show. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you never miss an episode.